US elections. What do you guys think?
I didn't know there was an election on. No, I'm just kidding, man.
Would you live in a rock?
To be honest, you couldn't avoid it if you tried.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
I know.
it's on every media channel, every social media channel. My opinion, I don't have a horse in the race. I couldn't, to be honest. We're just here before the end. To be honest, it's more of an entertainment avenue rather than an election at the moment.
I agree.
Look, for the people around me, it's a way of making money. I can't believe how many people are betting on this.
And if there's a market, people are betting.
Yeah,
If
it's just crazy.
If there's, where was it? Who's the royal dumbasses?
The royal
Kate
family.
Middleton and whatever the other guy.
Prince.
Anyway, is it Prince? I don't even know anymore.
I don't know.
George. Is it George? No,
No,
William. There we go. Fuck, I'm
William.
that lost with that family. I'm that lost with that family. What was the kid's name going to be?
I know. They did the same thing with
Oh,
Kanye.
yes,
Millions
yes,
on that.
yes.
So
I
can you
forgot
imagine
about
an
that.
election? Well, Sportsbet paid off Biden
Yeah.
because they said that's it, game over. And to be honest, looking at all the stats, I think as of just before we started, Georgia, I think it was. That's one of the deciding states because Nevada is too lazy to do their thing.
Dirty South. Shout out.
Dirty South. I think Georgia was like 665 votes between Trump and Biden. Trump was leading.
That's. I don't know what that means.
So-
Like 600 votes. Like what is that out of the whole? What 200? How many million people?
No. So they per state.
So
They're doing the electoral.
okay, I
So
see,
Georgia
yeah,
as
yeah,
a
yeah.
state,
Yeah.
the difference between Trump and Biden, I think, is like 600 and something
yeah,
votes.
and it's like 49.4 and 49.4, but there's like, bro, there's 2.5 million people almost who voted in Georgia.
So the way that it works is each state is worth a certain amount of electric. So
Electoral votes.
Electoral votes, yeah.
Georgia's
I was
16.
catching on that.
That's
today.
right, Georgia's 16. So, and with Biden, I think he's at 264 at the moment, off the top of my head.
And 270 is a win, right?
And 270
'Cause
is
the
win.
majority.
So he needs
Yeah.
just literally one state and he's got it. But I think where the stupidity came from is obviously from Donald Trump. He declared he's the winner of half these states that are still counting. And everyone's going, well, how do you self-declare a win when we haven't even been done because you got all those postal votes?
Look, I want to ask you something, Fatih. Obviously, you know a lot more than this about me.
I am the
So-
US correspondent here.
So before,
George.
before the election started, there were people talking about, oh, we just hope that this is a quick process. We hope that Trump doesn't, declare investigation on this, blah, blah. Is that something that's written in their constitution that they're allowed to do as a president or whatever to say that there's something going on here?
As in him challenging the vote?
Yes.
He's allowed to challenge it. I don't think it's in their constitution. I think it's more just on the basic platform of democracy rather than their constitution. I think he just has the right to do it rather than something that's actually in their constitution where he can federally challenge it or something like that. But as far as I know, one of the states, I can't remember, I think it was Pennsylvania or Michigan, one of them two, the court just threw out his request. Simple as that. You can't
It was
look.
Pittsburgh,
You know what it
wasn't
is? It's so stupid what he's doing. How can I put this in the most, like, you know, if any of you guys watch The Office, it's like when he says, explain it to me like I'm 3. Or explain, like, it's literally like that. What he's asked for is to stop counting the votes that people put in the
after
envelopes.
6:30.
Yeah, these postal votes were done before.
But it's
Doesn't
so
matter.
salty. It's just salty.
It's like complaining to FIFA, a team scored a goal in extra
That's
time.
it. Stop the time.
Yeah, can you just... The goal was scored, but we need you to overrule that. Like,
Yeah.
it makes absolute no sense what he's doing. Do you know what I mean? If you lost, you lost. It's simple as that. But I think where people are actually starting to get worried about is if he generally does turn this into a shit fight. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can only know so much about this because I don't think I've ever seen it in my lifetime if it's ever happened. What about if he just, it just doesn't leave?
Dude, I watched the... No, it's
I'm
not that.
staying here.
If everything stops and this goes to Supreme Court or whatever, blah, blah. I actually watched a video on... But I don't think America themselves know what's going to happen. Like, because the presidential thingy ends on the 1st of January or whatever it is, the term officially ends. and
They do a change up, I think, January 20th or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. So if no one is elected, there's talks about the Speaker of the House of Representatives or something is going to be ruling America until this is all sorted and shit like that.
I think it does become someone that's more neutral, but I think I could be wrong, someone probably searched this up. Nancy Pelosi is I think the
I
speaker.
think that's her. Yes.
And she fucking hates Trump. Like, you could see how many. There's moments where he gives a speech in I think it was the Senate or the House of Reps. The moment he finishes, she rips her speech up and walks off. She's in the background. She does that. She if there's someone that probably hates more Trump than anyone else, it's probably her.
Yeah, it
Like
is Nancy Pelosi.
Yeah, she absolutely hates him. But look, I don't know. I don't know what happens if he challenges it and prolongs it. But it's going to come to a point where people are starting to speak about like civil war and stuff, because it's that close. Think about it. It's not like the country's united against Trump. Do you know what I mean? Where it's like, okay, you know what? We've had enough of you. Time to go. It's nothing like that. It's more. There's last time I checked, there was like 4 million national votes separating two guys that no one wants. That's the irony.
That's I know. So
you know, that's something that I was going to ask you guys. I feel like America's voting for the lesser of the two evils because they're both scumbags, in my opinion.
Well, you have one that's potentially. Again, I don't think it's proven, but it just looks like it. The one that's got like dementia, and I'm not talking about Trump. I'm talking about Biden. He generally looks like he is struggling with certain things. Like when he was giving his speech, what was it? Our time yesterday. I feel like he was just going to come up on stage and be like, I don't know what I'm doing. Dead set. I have no idea. You got times where he can't speak properly. You got times where that video that went around that. You know what's funny? The irony is you don't see it on our media that often because our media tend to support more left democratic and type of views. When he introduced his granddaughters as his dead son. I don't know if you guys saw it. His original wife, if that makes sense, and his kid, his son,
his late wife, yeah.
Late wife, that's the word I'll call her original.
She died.
They died in a car crash.
Oh, no way.
The full stats I have no idea about. Now he introduced his granddaughters as that son.
Oh, no way.
Do you know what I mean? Like that's not something that you come like that. And then you got one where on video where he's doing his old rally and he just rushes through a few words and everyone's made memes now. They put Bruce Almighty and they put liar, shut up! But it's just like you got that type. How can I say this without sounding like a fuckwit? You got that man in charge of the nuclear codes on Earth, like to wipe out the Earth.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? This is the man. And then you got another one who's an egotistic maniac.
Yep.
Like who do you go for? Do you know what I mean?
Dude, there's sorry.
No, go ahead.
Just to add to that, dude, I've been obviously on social media seeing all these people think the thing. I follow like ASX Small Chat, which is like stuff about the stock market, and the conversation's gone even into those small groups, right?
100%.
They were talking about it, and a couple of guys raised the point that Biden had like pedophilic interactions with kids, right?
Yeah.
Dude, and then I saw the video. Honestly, it made me sick. Like, it almost makes you... There's no question to be asked with how he's behaving.
I've seen that video.
It's disgusting.
It's not appropriate.
Yeah.
Like, taking photos, you can see he's trying to grab the stomach. You know, like from shoulder, he'll go down. You know what I mean?
Rubbing up there. You can see his
Yeah.
thumb rubs.
Stop harassing our podcasters.
But yeah, it is disturbing. I don't know, man. Like, let me ask you guys a question. I'm not 100% in terms of the facts, but since Trump 4 years ago became president, there was interesting information that I read. And it was about how, he didn't start any wars. He did bomb certain individuals, you know, that guy in Iran, and I think a few other people, if I'm not mistaken. But in that sense, apparently there was all these acts and these certain what do they call them when they write laws in America? It's a different name.
Bills.
That's correct. Yeah, there's certain bills that actually helped out the country. Like, if in essence, if you look back at what he actually, like, if you go through what he actually did and what he actually signed off on, he was actually a decent president. If you want to look at it, like, let's look besides the bias towards Trump. I mean, we all know he's a character. All right, you know, we can give him that much. But the fact is, man, he did a decent job. I mean, let's consider Barack Obama. The guy got us into, was it him that got, he got us into some, not us, but he got the American army into somewhere. Was it
Syria.
Syria, that's correct. You know what I mean? Lots of innocent people lives. Not only did, the innocent people, but I mean, of course, their own people, died. But the point I'm trying to get at, like, I think, if anything, out of the last 4 or 5 presidents before Trump, this guy's been not that bad. I mean, he's very controversial. I think he speaks his mind, which is not that bad, because at least he's not bullshitting.
It depends what you define as being bad. I mean,
yeah, that also I agree.
Look, I don't know much about Trump too. Obviously, I live in Australia. I can say that I'm an apolitical person. I don't give a crap about politics in so many regards. And just as I said before, I feel like it's choosing between the lesser of two evils sometimes. But I feel like Trump, taking all the stupid stuff he's said and done out, he's pretty much run America like a business. Yeah. Right? And that's what he's known for anyway, right? And quote me if I'm wrong, Fatih.
You're wrong.
Damn you. I haven't said anything yet. I think America has seen the most economic flourishing in the term that Trump has been around. Am I wrong?
Like, has he been that bad?
See, this is where the problem is. What the Republicans define as good and what the Democrats define as good. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So what the Republicans can say, okay, this, what we see him to do as good, and the Democrats go, well, no, that's actually shit. But you can't decide between the two. It's because you're both making up your own views.
But what about statistically? Let's talk about like share market growth or profits and debts of the country. Have these all been lowered? Do you know?
As far as I know, the debt's actually risen. But I don't think that's gone. In my personal opinion, okay, regarding the American debt, there is no president on earth, okay, I reckon between now and unless something major dramatic happens and they just say, you know what, we're not paying back the debt, that debt's not going anywhere.
Dude, it's massive.
It's last time I checked, and you can actually search this, just write US debt. I think
it's
was
like trillion. 2 trillion.
No, I think it was $27 trillion. I think it was. It's a very
27 trillion.
Oh fuck, on the dot. There you go. And I checked probably like last year or something like that. I was bored. $1 trillion.
Who do they owe this money to?
Countries and banks. Where do they get the money from? The thing about this debt is they're not paying the debt. They're just paying the interest. Do you know what I mean? That's what it is. But they're that powerful. It could come to a point where it's like, I owe you money. Well, I'm not paying it. Come and get it.
Yeah, exactly. What is the bank going to do? All right, that's it, guys. Get the army in. We're going in.
The bank doesn't give a shit. The bank owns pretty much America at the moment to begin with. If you owe someone money, technically you own them. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. The way that the middle class economy and the lower class economy works, if that's what it is.
Goldman Sachs.
Pretty much. And Goldman Sachs got fucked. But what I'm trying to get at is, I think it was just before coronavirus, or the year just before coronavirus, the American stock market had one of the biggest jumps ever in history since they started taking down either the Dow or the Nasdaq, one of them two. And this is under Trump's reign. Okay, whether that was applicable to what Trump did or whether that was like a boom within an economy itself, like with Trump not doing anything or something like that, it's hard to say, because you'll have people that say that it wasn't him and you'll have people that say that was him. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Whether it happened under his reign, it did. Yeah. It did happen. But it all determines on what you see as bad. And this is what I was trying to say at the original thing. So Trump is more, I want to open up the country. We need the economy to flourish. Like you just said, he's a businessman. I mean, Biden is more, we need to worry about the people's safety, so we should more.
Is this in terms of coronavirus?
This is the coronavirus thing. Yeah. So you got to think like this. So which one do you see as good? Now everyone has their own view on this. Do you know what I mean? You have people that say, well, get fucked, I want to do whatever I want. And then some people are like, well, I care about my safety, therefore we should be doing this and this. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? You've seen, I'm pretty sure we've all seen half the videos on TikTok about people losing their minds about masks in America. Mm-hmm. That's another thing. One person will see that as, well, she's fighting for our freedom, while someone will say she doesn't give a shit about people's health. Yeah. So you know what I mean? How there's two goods and two bads.
It's always. And that's why I don't get involved with politics so much, is because it's so much hearsay and, like which side are you on sort of thing. But when I talk to people about this, I think worldwide, the biggest concern with Trump is relations with China. and how much he's severed that, especially in the last 6 months to a year, with all the tariffs and taxes he's put on, importing and stuff like that. Dude, it's affected us so much that one of the guys I was talking today, China has, we're such a mineral-rich country. China has stopped buying minerals from us.
Yeah, today they stopped something.
No, not minerals. They stopped buying lobster, certain fish. I think it was a certain
They don't buy wool.
Yeah.
Wool they take a massive amount of our wool.
Like they stopped something today. I can't remember what it was. It was either a grain or
it was
or
something
an
like
extra-
that.
It's either it was zinc or something. I can't remember what it was. But we can't blame Trump on that. Look at Scott Morrison.
Can I mention something just on top of Trump? Just this is a positive note. Is the fact that which other leader was talking to North Korea?
Dennis Rodman.
He was an advisor for you, the Marine.
Yeah, that guy, one of the best basketball players, or for his position, I don't know fuck all about basketball, by the way. He went and met with Kim Jong-un.
Cause he breached. Like everyone was like, oh, no, we don't know what's going on in North Korea. Cause there you see Trump go, oh, I got this. This is mine. All right, guys, how you going? He did his handshake. They talked. They actually had a fucking meeting. Like, think about it. Which
true.
other leader was doing that? China wasn't even doing that. China was like, dude, we don't even know this guy.
Stay
like,
over there.
You know what I mean? I don't know. Like, hate him or love him, bro. He's done a decent job.
And this is what I'm trying to get at, as decent job depending on what view you sit on. Because I can sit here and say so many things that Emmy can find good about him, and then you'll find bad about him.
Like, don't get me wrong. Like, with all due respect, him as an individual, he's a scumbag.
Isn't it? He's got a massive ego problem too.
You know what I mean? But maybe it's his party, maybe it's his advisors that are helping him and steering him in the direction that he was going to. Of course,
I'll have to disagree with you there because he fired almost everyone. He literally thought it was his own show, The Apprentice. When you're fired, you're fired. That's literally what it was. But look, what I will definitely criticize Donald Trump about is the way he talks. He talks like the way I'm saying everything, everyone needs to accept this. But he's a complete, utter fuckwit about it. I have to give him that.
But in his defense, he's the leader of the free world. You know what? If I was in that position too, I probably would be a little worse. You know what I mean? Like, you can't sit there and go as if, it wouldn't get to you a bit and go, you know what, fuck. I've got power that few people in the world have. I'm gonna use it properly. I'm gonna do it my own way. You know what I mean?
It's nature versus nurture too, bro. The guy was hosting his own freaking show for that long. They put him on a pedestal. The guy was like a king.
Yeah, of course.
Like that ego's been built up over many years.
Of course.
And he prides himself on how many times you hear those very corny and thing lines about success is about how many times you fall and get up. How many times this guy has gone bankrupt and got him back up and built that empire around himself and stuff like that, bro. That all comes with a price, and it's the ego that builds around it for such a long time.
Yeah, but going bankrupt so many times can also say, man, you know how to get to the top, you also know how to fuck it up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
and once again, that's how you look at it. You could look at it be like, bro, you got bankrupt 3 times and you still got up. Like, a lot of people would just shut the gates there and be like, no, I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah.
So once again, it comes down to your
how you view it.
interpretation.
Because then someone comes around and says, well, why'd you go bankrupt 3 times?
Yeah.
He's a proper entrepreneur. But, it's just instilled in him. Like, I think, obviously, I don't agree with everything it does. I mean, bro, there's only so much America does to us in Australia. You know what I mean? Obviously, they're an ally to the Australian government. That has no real effect for me. Let's think about it. I'm a simple person. I have a family. I mean, obviously, unless America comes in and starts invading Australia, that's a different story. But
dude, you honestly don't understand how much an impact America does have, dude. Because I follow the share market, right? Just talking from a shares point of view.
Yeah,
bro, if someone farts in America, you're like, what impact is it going to have over here, honestly?
Like Biden winning, apparently they're expecting a big drop.
Well, because look at his view. His view, like I said, he's more concerned with safety.
Exactly.
So what happens is the economy takes a dip.
He's like, all right, economy, guys, fuck off.
Economy,
all right,
put it to the side.
Let's save that.
I can't do his impersonation because I feel bad because I genuinely think he has dementia. But look, I don't know, man. In my opinion, this is not my opinion. I think the stats are all going towards Biden. I don't think. I think by tomorrow morning Australian time, we should see Biden winning and Trump probably coming out on Twitter saying something. And then Kanye 2024.